Party people, welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer. This week on the show, we are kicking off our spring season with a bang as I sit down with Lachlan Watson for a game of 1978, The Night They Came Home. Lachlan is an actor. You can catch them right now in the movie Y2K, streaming on HBO Max or wherever you rent your favorite movies. You can also catch them on shows such as The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Chucky, and others. And we had an incredible conversation about the joys of working in horror and queer storytelling. It's a great chat. I think you're really going to love listening to it. You can find more information about everything Lachlan has going on in the show notes. 1978, The Night They Came Home is a two-player horror role-playing game telling the story of the showdown between a survivor, a clever and resilient person caught up in horrifying circumstances, and the slasher, a legendary force of evil. With a deck of playing cards, you tell the story of a forsaken Halloween and a desperate battle for survival. I simply could not imagine a better game to sit down and play with Lachlan, and the experience that we had was, we played the game in person in Philly, and it was a remarkable experience. There's an energy in the room that I think you're absolutely going to hear. I love this episode, and I can't wait for you to hear it. You can also check the show notes for more information about 1978, The Night They Came Home. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. I am so very excited. I am sitting here live in person, sitting across from me at the table. Lachlan Watson. Lachlan, thanks so much for coming on Party of One.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so stoked. We've got the game laid out in front of us, and there's a very, because it's a physical space and recording and energy, there's an energy in the room, and I've got these creepy portraits staring at me, and the energy is electric. We'll talk about the game we're playing in a bit, but before we do that, why don't you take a moment, let our lovely listeners at home know about what you got going on you want them to know about?
Well, I just drove in from New York, and it immediately started snowing in Philadelphia.
It really did. You know what? We made all these nice plans of we'll be here, and
I booked a relaxing bed and breakfast for me and my partner, and I was like, this is going to be such a chill little overnight stay. And then the whole morning has been sliding backwards down hills and almost getting T-boned. So we're in an interesting vibe personally. Professionally, I'm an actor. I'm an activist. I have found a weird little niche in horror, doing queer horror specifically. I was recently in an A24 movie called Y2K that nobody has seen, and I really want everybody to see it because I get to play Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit's #1 fan, and it's maybe the funniest thing I've ever done. So that's all I needed to hear. That's
honestly.
a huge talking point for me. Apparently it's available on airplanes now. So I've been telling everybody, if you're flying anytime soon, you have to watch.
Right.
You have to watch Y2K.
Fantastic. I'm really excited. Because we're sitting down with a horror game today, I want to ask, the thing I really want to ask you is the easy question, or rather the straightforward question of what is it about horror that excites you as a viewer or watcher, but also as an actor, a performer, is there something about acting in horror and creating horror that is engaging, exciting, motivating? What is it that draws you to that experience as an actor and a performer?
Well, as a viewer, I feel like horror is such an interesting genre because it's I feel like there's so much more you can do visually and emotionally with horror that you can't really do conventionally, or that isn't really being done conventionally.
Sure.
There's just so much, you push the lows a little lower and you push the highs a little higher. It's just a little bit more of a
that catharsis is really big and prevalent. It's that tension and release.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And visually, I feel like there's more freedom to have a bizarre style and more of an unsettling watch, which I love. If I'm gonna sit down and watch a movie, it's so often horror because they're so unique to me that I go oh, this is an experience I can't have.
It looks like nothing else that you've seen before.
It looks like nothing else. And I think that's kind of what drew me to it as an actor as well, is because you can do things that you wouldn't do normally. For a while, I didn't know what I would sound like when I screamed.
Sure.
It was just something I was raised, homeschooled by my mom, and she just thought screaming was annoying.
Sure.
So she was like, no, don't, you don't have to be screaming right now. You really just don't have to be doing. And I was never on a playground at school, so there was never an opportunity where I was just screaming as a kid. And so then as I grew up, I was realizing that these were feelings I'd never felt or sounds I'd never heard, and there's just this huge curiosity of what would I do in this environment, and horror kind of does that. But outside of that, I kind of just fell into it. It kind of draws you in.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
And like to that point, like there's a kind of like, and I think like there's a parallel to what you're saying and like the act of play, which is like there is a kind of finding yourself in that moment of like I'm in a place, I'm picturing the world, I'm exploring this space, and by doing so, like yes, I'm inhabiting a character, but I'm also in this, and I'm also processing the emotions that I'm feeling, and like
Right.
it's a difficult thing, and it can often, it can be a delicately managed thing, but it's also a thing that where you're like, yes, I'm understanding how I am processing these things in this moment.
It's like practice.
Yeah.
It's like exposure therapy almost, where you're kind of like, well, I'm sort of experiencing this feeling. I'm like microdosing it in a way. And
It's great.
Makes you more comfortable with the unknown in real life.
It's what has kept me coming back to play as an art form for a decade now, is really truly that sense of like getting to be in that place and getting to feel those feelings and going like, okay, cool. This is an outlet for me to like explore these experiences, and I think fear is a non-zero part of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is a safe space where we're gonna scare the shit out of each other for an hour and a half.
Right, but it's also scary. It's scary when there's a rule book in front of you and a deck of cards, and you go like, what if I forget everything I've ever known? Like, what if I forget which number comes after the other one? And so there's an element of actually playing that's also scary. And so it's kind of comforting that it is a horror game.
Yeah.
That it's okay to be scared.
It is okay to be scared.
In fact, it's in character.
And speaking of the game that we are playing today, 1978, The Night They Came Home by World Champ Game Co. This is a game about this is a slasher movie confrontation. You are going to be playing our survivor. I am going to be playing our slasher, and we are going to walk into a creepy haunted house, and we are going to fight maybe to the death or maybe to a standstill.
Yeah.
But this is the moment where we are going to confront each other.
Only one of us is going to leave Philadelphia.
That's true. That's how this works. I mean, that's how every one of my podcasts works. I probably should have, included that in the onboarding things, but
you didn't, reading between the lines.
You get it.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, the two questions I want to ask you is like, what about this game is really like exciting you? What's on your mind? What are you bringing to the table? And also, like, when I asked which of the two playbooks you wanted, you really quickly gravitated towards the Survivor. So like, what is it about that in particular that's got you excited to play today?
Well, the game itself is so alluring to me because I feel like it really fits within the work that I've done as an actor. So it ties in pretty nicely to this weird kind of horror niche that I've found. And so I figured that would be an exciting avenue to explore in like a different art format, as opposed to the quick decision of the Survivor. I've always related to the Survivor so much. Like in the first time I watched Silence of the Lambs, I always assumed that I would see so much of myself in Buffalo Bill just because of the trans legacy that he carries, and I undeniably saw myself in Jodie Foster and Clarice Starling, just going, that is a non-binary person who is going to win. And there's always something that I've gravitated towards with that role. Like I make a joke that I've survived almost every horror movie I've been in. So that's my niche, and I'm sticking with it.
I love it.
I will leave Philadelphia.
I love it. I'm with you on that. I want this for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand in your way, but I also want this for you.
Yeah.
So like, and I guess like as we're kind of like starting to flesh out our characters, and I'm gonna throw some cards your way to kind of start to fill this out.
God, he's throwing cards at me.
That's right. We're in a space today, so we're going hard today. What are the slasher movies? You mentioned Silence of the Lambs. Like, what are the other, like, in slashers in particular? What are the other slasher movies that are like heavy on your mind as we're grabbing cards? These guys are for you. And
Hush, Mike Flanagan.
Okay.
Hush is always a little bit on my mind, and these images, these drawings on the cards in front of us are very Hush, because the slasher, as they're referred to in this game, it like wears this kind of freaky hockey mask, but it's not the holes, the conventional, Halloween costume. It's just like this flat white face, and it's very slasher and weird. And that was one of the first slasher movies I saw, so I think about that one a lot. This is very much giving me that.
This has that energy a lot. I forgot to take the face cards out of here, so I'm gonna vamp while I do that.
That's literally so cringe.
I saw Scream probably like bits and pieces of it, but I saw it, like, sat down and watched it for the first time not long ago, and I like the thing that really resonated with me in the first Scream is how much Ghostface really gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that's on your mind because that'll be happening to
That's
you.
going to be happening to me today, yeah. That's the goal.
During this game. In real life. I'm just going to keep hammering into this bit that
it's a good bit.
You're going to die today.
It's a good bit.
To get me in the right mindset.
All right, so I've removed the face cards from the deck. We're going to set those aside for now. We're going to draw 5 cards each, and in your playbook, there is a list of questions right at the front. There's a list of 5 questions, and each of your playing cards has a prompt on it. So I've got the 8 of diamonds here that has razor blade apple. So they've each got like an evocative horror prompt. And we've each got 5 questions. A self question, a style question, strengths, a connection, which is how you're related to the house that we're both entering, and then a person in your life. For you, it is the queen. For me, it is the king. It is on page 8.
Oh, yes. I'm on page
and we're each
1.
going to kind of like take turns looking at the cards in our hand and sort of use these as sort of narrative prompt points to sort of flesh out like who we think our character is.
What? How do the cards in my hand relate to the questions?
So it's sort of just like, you know, they're kind of just inspiration prompts if you want to use them as with the sort of words on the side. So you got like your razor blade apple prompt on the side of the card.
I see.
And like you kind of be like, oh, it says razor blade apple. I'm thinking to myself, I've got an idea of who this character is, but that kind of colors it a little bit. To kind of like give you, you know, it's there. It's an optional mechanic. It's there if you want it, or if you have a very clear idea on these questions. You can kind of choose any of the 5 if there's one that jumps out to you to kind of give you a starting idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, immediately I have a card in my hand that just says closet.
Sure.
I find that incredibly alluring as a queer person to take this opportunity to say that whoever this person is that I'm playing is in the closet.
That feels great.
I don't know which closet.
There's a closet.
But boy, howdy, is there a closet involved. Oh. These are quite vague.
Oh, actually, they got face cards. I'll draw another one. There we go. Yeah, they're pretty blues, and like they'll come up in a lot of different ways as we're playing.
Do we keep these?
You put them on the throw them down on the table as you're using them, and then we'll kind of reshuffle them into the deck. I am looking at my deck, at my hand of cards. I've got 3 here that all feel very fun for a question of like strengths. Because I've got shotgun, wood axe, and power outage.
Oh, wow.
All 3 of those feel exciting.
Very alluring.
Like a lot of very different images.
A shotgun taped to a wooden axe that caused a power outage.
You saying that, I know you said that as a joke, but the visual, like, there is something. I'm gonna throw down this card that says shotgun because there is something so alluring about, and I think this is kind of starting to. This is a good strengths thing. There's something alluring about, like a maker kind of vibe of like physically taping something together.
Yeah,
has that Jason Chainsaw aesthetic of like and in a way that is kind of nonsensical, right? Like an axe taped to a shotgun, you know. And I think that kind of flows even further through my style. I think like there is a patchwork stitched together mash up quality to my slasher that I think like is the visual that I'm really chasing after.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of like these kind of thread-like shapes on the cards themselves, which are very giving me like sewn together Halloween scrappy.
Yeah, there's something kind of like scrap heapy to the aesthetic that I'm visualizing that I think is what I'm putting on the table as like a a horror aesthetic or like a
Yeah.
slasher aesthetic.
And inherently very threatening and scary because that shit could come apart at any moment.
I think that's kind of the energy, right?
Yeah.
Is it has this energy of, barely held together in every possible sense of the word.
Right.
What's speaking to you in terms of your character's like style and aesthetic? Like, and I guess like more broadly, like the other kind of questions to talk about is like, is this a small town slasher film? Are we in a big city? Like, what's the slasher setting that is most exciting to you? What setting is on your mind, and like, where do you want this confrontation to be happening?
I am holding a card that says Thunderstorm.
Okay.
That is exciting to me in terms of the how you're related to the house. Why do you have to spend the night in this house? I've possibly biased by this like freak snowstorm that we just encountered this morning, but I've been thinking a lot about the idea of like getting stuck somewhere and
Yeah.
in a way more like romantic and cool sense, being like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I had to spend another night in Philly because I'm
Sure.
stuck here? Like, what if we have to go back to the bed and breakfast and walk back in and go, hey, we got snowed in. We
Yeah.
have to stay again. Do you have a room?
Sure.
So I think that's a good reason.
That feels really great. That feels a really
get
great
me
connection to
there.
the house. And I kind of think, building on that, like I've also got a connection, and something has really like, I'm looking like hearing that, and the idea of like this house is in a thunderstorm. There's something to me about this card prompt that says discarded mask that ties into this sort of patchwork aesthetic
vibe
of like a sense of like, maybe not the house itself. Like, I don't think it's a house is coming alive thing, but I do think it is that like I do think everything on my person and like some essential, like I do think I am born of this house and I exist of this house and I am objects of the house and I like my body and spirit and soul are of this house. And so all of the like, it is, the visual of, we see the camera pan over like a potted plant, and then later on like you kind of get a flash of like my jacket opens and you see a potted plant, you see like that same ridge pattern, and you're like, oh, like he's literally putting himself together from whatever's in this house, and like that, that seems to be as much of an origin as we have of this entity.
Yeah, they are and of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly cool. I think in terms of style, I'm struggling with this this police chief card that I'm holding.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in ACAB.
Mm-hmm.
We're going. I'm imagining a vibe in which you know how the police chief in so many of the small town horror movies has like, discarded the police chief uniform and is just in like a shitty pair of like boots and flannel and jeans. I think that's where I'm gonna go with this
feels
card.
great. That feels very
because I
good.
was thinking about being like, I don't want to be a police chief. I don't know anything about how cops
No, that feels
work.
good. That feels
so
real,
instead,
as an aesthetic vibe. That feels
I'm
really
channeling the aesthetic vibe of like
Very
an off-duty,
very autumnal.
yeah,
That-
autumnal, haggard.
A lot of
chief.
secondhand, that kind of
yes, exactly.
like.
Perhaps
I love that.
a family member passed down some police chief garbage.
I've got a combination of question and card here that I like, that like with this idea of like being the house and like being objects of the house that are taking shape. There is this card, Razor Blade Apple, and the question of like self, of like, who are you? There's this real energy of like, one of Jeff's on his bullshit things is always like stories made manifest and belief made manifest, and the idea of the creepy house on the lane is the creepy house on the lane because it's the creepy house on the lane, and like it needs to be that in some way.
Yeah.
And like it's almost this sense of like, what I'm putting out is like, I am the immune system of the house protecting its reputation so that it remains as an object, because as long as it is the creepy house on the lane, like there is a power that keeps it in place. It has been unoccupied for so long that somebody could tear this down at any moment. But like,
Right.
if it is that creepy and that haunted, like there is a reason to it, and there is a force here that is saying like this house will remain as it is. If someone has to die, it will manifest a means to kill that person.
Right. And even just the idea of not wanting people to come near. Like, yeah, there is a reputation you have to uphold as the creepy house, because otherwise, if you start looking a little bit too well maintained, people are going to start smoking weed in you.
Yeah.
Like, and that's no good. You want to be left alone.
That feels great. The idea of of a house having an immune system is, I think, what I'm really chasing after. And like,
I agree.
The idea of like this being the thing that is like, yeah, the house is haunted, and it's haunted because it needs you to think that it's haunted. Oh. There's something real juicy there that I'm chasing after.
It's not that there's a ghost in the house. The house is the ghost.
The house is the ghost.
Oh yeah, yes indeed. I've decided my strengths are that I'm holding a bag of candy.
Sure. Yeah. You're trick or treating. Halloween.
I'm trick or treating.
I love that.
It sure will come in handy.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But let it be known, my character is holding a bag of candy, and the card says bag of candy.
Yeah. All right. What do I got? I got the last card that I have. Okay. The last card that I have is figuring out someone that will never quit trying to stop you. And I've got the card Power Outage, and I have to think about like what this looks like.
Oh, right, because I forgot that our booklets are different.
Yeah, our booklets
I looked down at my booklet and I went, where does it say that, Chuck?
We've got different booklets with different prompts, which I'm very excited about.
Oh.
Who is trying, like...
Cool.
Who is, like, immediately... I think the easy answer, and I'm not even sure it's the answer that I want to run with, but I'm putting it out there to see if something else emerges, is, like... Obviously, there's a vested interest in demolishing the house, right? Like, obviously, the house exists. Obviously, gentrification is a factor, and like an old abandoned house is being eyed for being torn down. I don't know if that's the angle that I want to go for the person that is trying to stop, is like a developer or like a utilities person
the
or
mayor.
The mayor. The mayor is very funny though. Like it's
the mayor.
The mayor
of Appletown.
The mayor of Appletown is very like the mayor as irritated by this house's existence. Feel like there's something real good.
I will point your attention to the drawing in front of us. There's a kind of spooky house on the playmat. Looming behind the graphics. There is a piece of paper on the door.
There is.
Implying someone has come and pasted something.
Someone has come and pasted and like...
On you.
Then maybe that is... Okay, yeah, no, that's what I needed because it is... Then that adds a because like what I think is really compelling is like that adds a desperation, and like traditionally in slasher movies, like the slasher is in such a position of control that like what happens if the slasher is an animal that has been backed into a corner?
Right.
What happens if the slasher... What happens... Like, this house has been creepy and has been exerting a sort of creepy will in a very kind of Stephen King energy for a long time. But it hasn't hurt anybody.
No.
It's when this thing got put on the wall and suddenly it's like, oh, I need to assert my will now.
I have to stay here.
I have to stay here. I have to protect myself. Someone is coming... Someone in a position of even more power than me. It's very compelling to me to have a slasher that is as desperate as the survivor from a different party that truly has a one-up on them.
Right. Well, I think there's such a compelling idea in horror of like just a complete misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of an interesting idea of what if the slasher isn't intending to kill the survivor? It needs
it needs somebody, and you happen to be the person that was there at that moment.
Right. Yeah. My last card is just says wandering child, and I am left with the question queen. Someone you must protect at any cost. How do you know them? How does your relationship survive tension? I think this explains a lot of the stuff I've been building, because I think I'm envisioning my character as like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of already a bit haggard, like strange flannel wearing person holding a bag of candy. For what reason? I think perhaps my queen is this child that's in my care.
Yeah.
That has gone running off on Halloween.
Yeah.
I have perhaps found their bag of candy nearby this spooky house, leading me to believe perhaps this child has wandered into the house. Now,
rips.
I don't know if I, the player, believe that the child is in this house. In fact, maybe I don't want the child to be in this house. But I do think that gives my character a very good reason.
That gives you a very good reason to be in the house and be like engaging with the house and not just immediately do the modern reaction to horror. I'm turning around and walking away. I'm not thinking about this again.
And far more importantly, it means I have a bag of candy.
It means you have a bag of candy.
Yeah.
And
that, fantastic. I think, will prove to be extremely crucial.
Great. I feel like we've got a pretty good picture of these characters. I think we're ready to like dive into the day, right? The first phase of play. If we skip to page 13, our first phase of play is the day. We are going to take turns. What we're going to do is we're going to take the top 3 cards of our deck.
You will take the top 3. And
I will take the top 3 cards of the deck. Yes. Nope, we're going to take top 3 cards of the deck, and we'll set aside faces, because I was once again not supposed to shuffle them back in. I keep forgetting there's a specific moment when that happens. We'll get there when we get there.
Don't even worry about
it. Take the top 3 cards, and we're going to set them up face up for us both to see. Take that aside. There we go. We've got our 3 cards.
There's another shotgun.
Another shotgun is on the table.
Another shotgun is on the table.
This is huge. You will take the first turn. And what that will look like is you're going to look at these 3 cards, the card numbers and the prompts, and you're going to look at the scene types that you have on the next page. I forget what I don't remember if our scene types are the same. For mine, they are lore, stalk, and watch.
Mine are live, socialize, or worry.
Great.
Which feels really
great.
True to life for me personally.
It does. That's living in 2026 is what that is.
It truly is, yeah.
So you're going to look at those 3 scene types. These are going to help you like build up resources. The big one for you is resilience, which is your ability to survive and fight. I'm going to build up fear, which is my ability to terrorize you. You're going to pick a scene type. You're going to pick one of those cards to go into your hand, because that's going to be when we fight each other later. We're going to build the hand of cards that we fight with. And then we're going to like play out a scene. When that scene reaches a conclusion, then some stuff will happen on a mechanical basis, which one will cross when we get there. So what is your character up? Does your character have a name, and what are they up to at this moment?
I keep trying to come up with a name other than Barbara.
Barbara feels good.
Ain't working.
Okay.
Barbara, and that works because, you know what? They're in the closet.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Barbara for now.
Barbara works.
Barbara for now. Barbara's going to live.
Okay.
Barbara's going to live. My live scene says, portray your normal life and how it ties to your sense of self. Exhibit a skill, practice self-care, or otherwise. +1 ruin, +1 card from the draw pile to your hand.
So you're going to pick one of these 3 cards?
I am going to choose the garden spade.
Okay, take that into your hand. You're going to hold on to that, because when we fight later, that's going to be one of your cards that you can play and hit me with a test.
I love the idea of having a garden spade.
And talk to me about like what the scene looks like of you living. Like what is this moment in Barbara's life? Like this is during the day leading up to the night, you know. We get the opening of our movie of like Barbara, bag of candy. We see a kid run into the house. We see Barbara with the bag. We flash back earlier in the day.
Right.
Like this is like what does your life look like? What does your daily routine at this moment look like?
I think Barbara lives in a scrappy kind of cottage towards the outskirts of Appletown, and has this child running around, yet to determine who they are to Barbara. But I think this child and Barbara carved pumpkins a little too early in the season. And that pumpkin, Barbara has awoken to realize that pumpkin is absolutely rotted onto the front porch. And so I believe we are going to hard cut into seeing Barbara pick up a garden spade and try and dig out the dead, rotted pumpkin from their porch with a garden spade. And
Love
kind
that.
of mutter about, I always do this. We always carve pumpkins too soon. I forget that everything immediately dies.
Love that. Okay. I then get to play a scene. Which means you also get, you up 1 ruin.
Up 1 ruin.
When we get to 6 ruin, the day ends. You also get to draw. I realized you also get an additional card.
I was wondering if it
Yeah,
was
you
this
get two
card.
cards. You get a card, the card you picked up, and a card from the draw pile.
And this card is for me.
Yes, and you do not have to tell me what that card is. We'll find out when you get it later. I also get to take a scene, and we'll replace this card here. Oh, wonderful. The Ace of Diamonds.
I notice the Ace of Diamonds you just put down is another discarded mask.
It is.
Oh, because we put the cards that we just
Yeah,
played
we
for our
shuffled them back into the
shuffled
deck.
them back in the deck. I see.
I'm going to take the Ace of Diamonds for sure.
For sure.
And I want to reveal more about the slasher. I think like what we are seeing. I think what we see of the slasher is what we see of the slasher in this moment, like this, like as I think we hear you say, you know, you're doing this too early. You know, everything dies, it rots. That's our smash cut to the house, right? Like that's our smash cut to the house. That's the smash cut to the utilities truck pulling up, the person plastering it on the wall.
Yes.
It's the parallel of everything to everything. Everything rots, like everything has its time. Plaster on the wall.
Everything rots.
And like from inside there is one of those, and specifically of Jeff. I'm pulling a thing that is locked into Jeff's brain for 30 years. It is the tragedy comedy mat. Like there's a like on a plaque, the brat, like a very fine china comedy tragedy mask. Plots it up. That falls almost as if a force is exerted, and it cracks. Like the masks crack, and then like one of them kind of skitters away, like into a shadow.
Which one?
I think it's. I feel like I want it to be the tragedy up front, because I feel like doing the comedy is almost too easy for this point for like a horror. Having the horror mask be there is almost too easy, and I think like switching to that later will be more satisfying.
Right.
But I think about the early 1990s CGI cartoon reboot was a very important part of my life, about people in a video game, and one of the villains was Hexadecimal, who had different masks that she would put on, and like every time she would react, she would like switch out the mask, and like that aesthetic is so exciting to me that I'm bringing that in a big way.
That's
that
so
like this
exciting.
mask, the tragedy mask, is like pulled away by a force, and then we flash. And I'm going to take a second card from the draw pile, and it is your turn. And also, I believe we up our ruin by 1.
Oh, right. And so now I'm playing again from the cards that are on the table.
Yeah. From the cards on the table, you're going to pick one. You're going to combine that with the scene prompt to give us a picture of the day, and take an action.
I'm gonna pick up a wooden chair.
Okay.
And I'm gonna worry. I'm gonna further detail the setting. Describe your surroundings about the town and how they make you feel amiss or uncomfortable.
Okay.
Optionally, describe fleeting or ethereal glimpses of the slasher, which is very interesting to me. I think that once Barbara has cleaned up the rotted jack-o'-lantern, which now I think we realize looked an awful lot like the tragedy mask in its melted kind of jack-o'-lantern face. Kind of an interesting parallel happening there. I think Barbara's gonna wash the seeds off their hands and go sit in their favorite wooden chair, because they're one of those like boring queer people that has a favorite wooden chair, and they're gonna worry, and they're gonna think about. I think Barbara's quite protective of this child.
Sure.
I don't think this is their child. I think that this is perhaps a sibling who passed and has left this child in their care. So they've developed an overly intense sense of protection for this kid, and I think they're really going to worry about the idea of sending them out into this town for trick-or-treating. It is Halloween. I think they've also probably put in a decent amount of effort on whatever costume this child is wearing, so they're definitely concerned about how that's going to look and whether or not the kid is going to be laughed out of Dodge for their really scrappy Halloween costume.
Love that.
Here. So they're going to be sitting in this beautiful wooden chair, and they're going to worry.
Okay. Does that give you an additional? What does that give you?
Resilience.
All right, so up your resilience from 3 to 4.
4.
if I remember correctly, resilience is a thing you can spend during play. Let me remind myself
Money.
of how this works. It is a money that you can spend. You can choose to, if we play a card of equal value, you can choose to spend a point. You can choose to spend 1 resilience to win, or if you lose, if you get hurt, I believe you also lose a resilience. Is I believe how that works. Yes, on a hit, if when we fight, I reduce your resilience by 1 on a hit, and if you hit me, I reduce fear by 1 as you kind of overcome the fear.
Cool.
Great. Well, I am also going to draw a card here. I'm also going to up my fear by 1.
Also, no ruin.
No ruin.
No ruin. Just kidding.
I'm also going to up fear by 1, and I'm going to take the shotgun. Actually, let me look at my options. No, I'm taking the 9 of diamonds because.
Are you sure you don't want a coworker?
Coworker does feel really good. Is the thing. I realized of the 3, mechanic. This is strategy and story are really at odds because shotgun feels the most the 10 feels the most strategically valuable.
Yeah.
But coworker and trick or treat
is so funny
because I think
you took trick or treat.
I took trick or treat.
Good.
And I think the thing that I'm taking that for is this is very Appletown, the town that we're in, is very bougie Halloween trick or treat, very bougie Halloween, the crux here, especially if we are backing my house into a corner, is this is a town that is making a push. This is a town with programming. This is they are setting up LED screens to show spooky spooky rubber hose animation clips
for sure.
And there is a band setting up. There is going to be a concert. They have decided Halloween is an event as part of an overall economic push, and so that fear that you're feeling is very pronounced by way of this town is dumping a lot of money into making this an event that people travel out to. It is very flashy. It is very trend chasey. It is very aggressive in that way. And I think we're seeing a lot of visuals of that that I think is further painting this picture. And amidst all of this, there is the lightless, rundown, condemned, formally by way of the poster on the door, house is just looming. And we maybe even see a rose or a shrub bush outside slowly sink into the ground as it is gathering pieces.
It itself is kind of putting up Halloween decorations,
but
specifically trying to scare people away as opposed to bring people in.
All right, next scene.
All right.
This is hitting. This rips. This is really hitting. I feel like we're not even in the peak of it yet, but this is...
You know what? Strategy be damned. I'm taking coworker.
Coworker's great.
I'm taking coworker, and I'm gonna socialize. I think Barbara's gonna go into town, go check in on the coffee shop that they're, possibly a co-owner of. They're just gonna check in, get a cup of coffee, and try and shake off the wooden chair worrying from before. And they're gonna speak to a coworker, and that coworker, Stuart, is gonna talk about how much he loves the Halloween decorations that are getting put up and how excited he is because the coffee shop's on the main strip, and he's gonna get to listen to all this live music all day because he's one of those music nerds who just wants to be talking about music all the time. And so you go he's so invested.
That feels great.
In Appletown's turn towards bougie Halloween. He's got a little sparkly pumpkin
incredible
hat on, and is really just not the vibe that Barbara was seeking out, and is kind of just adding to the idea that Halloween is for us, but it's not necessarily for you.
For sure.
And Barbara's just kind of going man, I don't even have a jack-o'-lantern put up because it died. I'm doing Halloween wrong.
Yeah, sure.
So Barbara's just gonna be sitting and trying to tune out Stuart.
Love that.
At their local coffee shop.
All right. Fantastic. Up that ruin by 1, and
Get
then
up
what
ruin
do you...
and up resilience.
All right.
Oh, give the used card to your opponent.
I will
so
take that
in
card.
fact, the slasher
Takes that.
gets a coworker.
Okay, great. I am actually going to do... Yeah, this feels great. This feels really good. This feels really great. We're having a scene from your sibling's child because I am doing a stalk scene.
Oh, good.
This is a scene of, kids out walking. It is. I think this Halloween, for maximum effect, is the golden grail of Halloweens. Halloween is on a Saturday. It is the rarest of treasures. And I think what it is like kids are walking and like already kind of like, doing that very sitcom, like casing the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And like a group of kids have gathered in front of this house, like as this is happening, and like are kind of taking it in, and the kids are kind of rattling off all of the things that are going to be happening. They say there's going to be a pony this year. Rumor is that there's going to be a pony this year. It might just be like a miniature horse, but like rumor is it might be a pony.
Might be a pony.
It might be a pony. And so like there's all this stuff, and then the kids like stop. And there is this like, in the sense of this house does have a power to it. The kids stop, and they do have that very like kids in a line, kids on a bike, like staring at the house as the house is sort of looming. And I think there is almost a moment to maximize the effect of like, we see the house, like the camera starts to like lower so that the house kind of raises in the background over these kids. And then they walk off, like they no sell the shit out of it, like, because there's too much other stuff. Like, the house has lost its power and its effectiveness.
Brutal.
So I am going to up my fear by 1, and I'm going to hand you this 3.
Ooh, thank you.
That brings us to 5 ruin, which means that our next ruin ends our day and brings us to sundown.
Alrighty. I have genuinely no idea how to work shotgun into my current narrative.
I'm trying to visualize it because I want that 10.
I want it so bad.
It's truly because I want that 10.
I want that 10.
Now, there are some prompts. Okay, now there are some additional prompts. Let's look at this. Blunt and impersonal, easily wielded or diffused. So there's some additional like color around like how to visualize shotgun.
I think I'm gonna go with my instinct. I'm gonna take this 4, this view from window. I think the sun's going down.
Mm-hmm.
I think Barbara is looking out the coffee shop window, knowing that what they're about to do next is they're gonna go home. They're gonna get the kid ready in costume.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna send them off into the night, and they're letting that kind of sink in, and I've realized I didn't decide what scene this is, but I think the way I'm talking about it is certainly worry.
This feels like worry.
This
feels like worry.
So they're thinking about everything that's about to happen. They have this looming feeling. They know the house. I think that Barbara lives not too far down the street in this area that kind of is yet to be touched by the shiny gentrification. So they're one of the kind of small rickety cottages that you can tell could easily devolve into a house like the house. So I think maybe they are getting these ethereal glimpses, thinking about, well, I hope my kid doesn't go anywhere near that because I've heard stories, and just thinking about what could happen, but then at the same time going, no, it's just Halloween and kids are kids and
that feels great.
Everything's gonna be fine.
That feels great. Up that fear, up that resilience by 1.
Resilience by 1, and I realized that worry does not come with ruin. So you, my friend, will actually be giving us our 6th. I will end the day,
and I'm snatching this shotgun. Because I think like what has like we're claiming a victim. We're claiming a victim. a utility worker has like gone inside.
A coworker?
A contractor is inside. He's got the vest. He's got the hat.
Oh my goodness.
It's a beloved character actor. Like
Yeah.
we got like a Shea Wiggum type. You know,
Yes.
a real
Yep.
surly energy is like walking inside, checking things, and adding to the aesthetic that I already described. And now I see it. There's a like I'm a real sucker for a Rube Goldberg death machine.
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
And we see the objects of the house like something snaps, like a cable snaps, and it knocks down like a salt shaker that falls down.
It's going brrrr.
And it's very Home Alone. It's very like things are in place, and it all leads up to like a shotgun that is on a wall. As he walks in the doorway, it all rings. The trigger goes off, and I'm trying to decide, do you think it is better? And this is, I think, a good tone setting for, like, the rating and content of the film that we are making.
Yes, of course.
Do we see this guy's head come off, or is it a shotgun blast and then sundown?
No, you bet we see
some splatter?
we see bone.
Great. That's gonna up
We see
our
bone.
ruin.
But not in the way you'd expect. Not in some cheap little Ari Aster way. We're getting weird with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that feels great.
Like it's a little campy and a little bit stupid.
Yeah.
But it's scary as hell. It's 1978.
That feels great. That feels great.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it dearly. I'm gonna up our ruin by
Sorry,
one,
I
which
called
brings
Ari
us.
Aster cheap.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Am I? I don't know.
I'm gonna draw an additional card. I've got my shotgun. I've got an additional card from the draw pile,
Man, you're good at games.
and we run to sundown. Which I'm gonna take all these now. Now it's the time when, if I had removed the face cards as we had planned, as had been intended, we would shuffle them back into the deck.
Ah ha ha.
Because now is the time when our king and queen and the jack, which represents the town itself.
Ooh. New York City is the seventh
It's
character
its own character.
Yep.
Just last week I watched the Philly Film Society is doing like a special series on movies in which New York is a character in the film. And I saw the movie The Night of the Juggler. It's like a 1978 like crime thriller. It's kind of got slasher energy a little bit. It's James Brolin. His daughter gets snatched by a guy who thinks that it's the daughter of like a wealthy like a rich person, like a wealthy real estate developer. And so it's they're both just chasing each other through the city. And like it's got a real energy, and this all is just nothing to say. It's just a movie that's obsessed with it, and the energy of like watching the entire city like hum is, I think, on my mind, and I'm really excited to kind of see that take shape in the form of bougie gentrified Halloween.
Bougie gentrified Appletown Halloween.
Okay, so what we're gonna do with these cards is we are going to sort them into 6 miniature decks of cards, because we have in front of us. Why don't you talk while I do that? Read the 6 rooms that we have here, and so that we kind of get a virtual tour of the house that is taking shape.
Well, the bottom floor, it has a living room, a foyer, and a kitchen. And then the top floor has a bedroom, a landing, and an attic.
Just make sure I'm doing this exactly correctly.
There's also a fate
Yes.
section, which is intriguing me quite a bit.
There is. I believe that is primarily used for where we are throwing cards down.
Cool,
So that
cool.
is where our confrontation is going to happen. As we build 6 decks of identical cards with the face cards mixed in. Because what is going to happen is, as these cards get drawn, they present the opportunity for our people, my hunter, the mayor of Appletown, the mayor,
The mayor of Appletown.
the town of Appletown itself, as represented by the Jack, and the child that you are protecting
Is the
are
queen.
going to get drawn into this mystery.
Cool.
So like, and the thing is, those cards, face cards, not only do they benefit, like, do they draw those characters in, they also have like very real mechanical benefits. Traditionally, because like they are they trigger a specific scene, but also when we are attacking each other, when we are doing tests, a Jack always default me gives you a guaranteed win. So there is a chance, regardless of the card. So there is an advantage to drawing the card of the room itself.
Cool.
So now we're gonna do battle. We have arrived at the night.
We have.
Your character. We see that child, like we see like the celebration happening. The child like walks off. They're dejected. They've clearly some bullying has happened off screen. And like a door opens and like a light turns on and there are no lights in the house. Like the light turns on and maybe like it's late enough that you're out looking for them. Right? And you see them walk into the house. And now you are staring. We come back. We finish the E and we come back to the shot from the beginning of the film of you standing, bag of candy in hand, staring at the house, and we are going to have a confrontation. So let me see which of the two of us goes first in this round. I take the first turn now. Great.
Cool. The slasher takes the first turn.
Slasher takes the first turn. I'm going to... How this is going to work is I am going to take one card from my hand, using the prompts on there to, flavor a scene, and I'm going to choose one of the rooms. I'm going to put that card in front of the room and choose a scene type, the same way that we've been doing.
Right.
I'm going to do the foyer because I'm going to do the shotgun because it feels right to like come at you immediately. I've already played it. I should have decided a scene first because I'm realizing, you know what? This feels good. No, this feels good. I am playing the 10 of spades, the shotgun in the foyer to draw you in. And I think this is a haunt. This is a haunt. I am listening attentively and stalking the survivor in the house. So I am drawing you in by way of drawing in this child, right? Like I'm drawing in any victim that is nearby because I gotta assert my authority. So you see the child come in and there is a clear sense. There is, I know writers that use subtlety and they're cowards. There is a gargoyle that we get a close up on the eyes and it is looking down at you and it is looking at the doorway and the light turns off and the door starts to close. It doesn't close, but it closes at such a way that says to you oh, the door's about to close and trap this child inside. But, we can kind of see that it's not closing fast. It's almost intentionally not closing fast enough to where there's a chance that you won't walk into the house.
Right.
It wants you to think that you are racing inside. That's the setup. So now you get to react. You have cards in your hand.
I do.
You can choose to play one of those cards to counter this hit. Let's see, you choose to play one of those cards to counter the hit. If you don't feel like you have a card that can beat it, or if you want to see if you can pull one of the auto success cards, you will draw the top card from the foyer deck.
I am going to be doing that.
Okay.
I'm going to press my luck because you've taken a really good card here, and I don't have a lot of those. It is a 7.
The jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Okay. You have been hit. You miss. I hit. Works as intended. I describe the immediate fallout of the action and end the scene. I think as you run inside, the lights all shut out. The lights, the lights shut off as if there were ever lights on to begin with. It's kind of in the back of your mind, well, of course there weren't lights. It's an old abandoned house.
Right.
But and while you're kind of muttering to yourself in the way that we've seen Barbara mutter to themselves through the whole film, they don't hear the door close. The door doesn't close until they're in the room, and
it's one of those nice horror kind of whooshing, warbling. There's an energy about that could be blood rushing your ears, but it's playing tricks. So have I actually been hit by the shotgun? Is my question.
I don't think so. I think that the shotgun that I want to put into the scene is a metaphorical shotgun of the bluntness of
yes.
It's leaning hard on all of the aesthetics, right? Terrorizing a child endangerment is like the cheap, strong liquor of fright.
Yeah.
And I think like it has invoked the cheap, strong stuff to be like, get inside. Like I want fear. I want control over the situation.
Barbara has rushed in and gotten hit by the idea that the kid could possibly be in danger and is now heart pounding.
That feels great.
Confused.
Okay. Which means it is
Do
now
I have
your
to
turn.
lose any points, or did
No,
you simply
I gain a fear. I gain a fear on a hit, which puts us both at 6 fear / resilience.
Oh, but if I had beaten you, you would have lost.
I would have lost
fear.
a fear.
I'm
And if either of us gets to 0, then we have lost the fight.
Alrighty.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay.
I can fight, claim, and haunt. What are your scene types? I think they're going to be roughly the same mechanic.
Fight, call, and hide.
Love it. I really love asymmetrical play. I really love that we both have our own suite of goodies.
I have some really low cards, I'll tell you that. So am I in a position now where I can turn over a card in a particular room?
I think that is
random?
I think that is a defensive. That's a defensive maneuver.
Okay, cool.
But I'm thinking of this through. This is strategy talk.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way to counteract that, if you've got low cards, is if we get to 13 ruin, we both survive. Like it's a fight to a standstill.
Got it.
So there is a possibility of like I take a beating, but at least I drive up the ruin at the same time.
Okay, cool. It's just funny because all of my lower cards are the ones that I'm more excited about, like narratively. And so I'm like,
there's definitely an intentionality to how the cards were laid out, and I think that's really genius.
Okay, I am going to play this low little wooden chair 3 in the living room, and I'm gonna put that under call. I think that in the house, there's a chair in the living room that creaks. And it sounds almost like a floorboard creaking under a step. And so that's going to call me into the living room. And I'm going to call out for the kid whose name is Tyler. Tyler is the kid.
Tyler's the kid.
And so I'm calling out for Tyler. Oh, man, I really don't like saying that name.
We can change it.
Ty-Ty.
Ty-Ty's good. Ty-Ty's a cute kid name.
Ty-Ty. Tyler. Ty-Ty. Short for Tiberius.
Tiberius is great.
And so I'm gonna rush into the living room and I'm gonna go Tiberius because I'm positive that Tiberius has gone into the living room, but in fact it was just the creak of the wooden chair.
I'm gonna sit and think this through.
No.
I'm going to force you to at least spend a resource here.
No.
Because I think that you're going to succeed. Because I want to get rid of it. I want to get rid of this 3. I think is what it is. Mm-hmm. And I've got unkempt yard. I think that tying into the essential nature of the house, like the house is a mess. The house is a wreck. The house is difficult to walk through. Like it is difficult, like as Barbara is like going from the foyer to the living room, like it takes a conscious kind of effort. And I think
like the trope of like the grass coming through the floor.
It is definitely the grass coming through the floor. Like we see that shrub bush from earlier, like jutting out of a bookshelf. It's a lot of angles that don't really make sense. And like we get our first glimpses of like a slasher proper as like a figure sort of like in that very classic horror way of like the coat rack jostles but then like disappears out of frame. It's a lot of like the visual language that's in my brain that I think hits is a lot of It Follows does this a lot, right? Where like the horror is happening in the blurry background and like it's a lot of like a scary thing is happening off frame. So like we see the coat rack jostle and disappear, but it's like where the focus is fuzzy for us the viewer. So Barbara's not seeing it, but like we're seeing like a fuzzy thing disappear off the frame. All right.
Threatening tumbleweed.
So you can choose. This is a situation.
This is an interesting situation. I'm
We're
reading
tied.
about this
You can
situation.
choose to succeed here, but you will have to spend a resilience to do it.
But see, the interesting thing is the scene that I've played out describes that on a hit, I gain 1 resilience.
Interesting.
So if I choose to win,
I
forfeit that resilience,
you're right back.
I
You're
gain
back.
it back.
Yeah. So okay. That's a strategic loss on my part because I have forced you to lose nothing.
Well, that's the nature of having 2 different playbooks.
It is. Yep. This is great.
That I have a scene that you didn't see.
I loved asymmetrical play.
Alrighty. So, if your card is of equal value, you must spend 1 resilience to overcome the obstacle and hit. Reduce your resilience by 1 and describe how you nearly failed but managed to succeed by the skin of your teeth. So I've gone down temporarily by 5 because I think I saw this creature from the corner of my eye, and I think it scared me.
Yep. But it's a coat rack, but it's nothing.
It's a coat rack. Or it's cobwebs moving.
Yeah, right.
Surely I'm just afraid.
Surely you're just imagining.
And that this is just the old house on Green Street in Appletown that everyone talks about, and I'm going crazy. And surely it was either just a trick of my mind, or it's fucking Tiberius again, being a little asshole and sneaking around corners and trying to play tricks. And so then I go, no, it's that dumb little tie, and I go right back up to 6.
You're right back up. Great. And does that up ruin?
It sure indeed +1 ruin.
Okay, great. Okay, it is my turn. How do I want to play this? I think I gotta go for it. And I think I am going to. Oh my god, there's a very exciting. Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm realizing I got a card and machine combo that is I gotta go for it. I'm putting the 6 of hearts in the kitchen. I'm claiming a victim.
No, not the coworker.
As you shout for Tai, you hear from the other room, Barbara? And we get the peek don't go in that room of Stuart peeking in a window of having, conveniently walked by and felt a similar pull. Maybe your shout echoed out further than it could have by law and nature. I mean, Stuart leaning into the window Barbara? And is clamoring into the kitchen and you gotta beat a 6. If Stuart's gonna survive.
I'm so sorry, Stuart. View from window, a 4. I see Stuart come in through the window, or at least try to. And my view of him through that window is the house claims him somehow. So I'm gonna take this hit because I don't think it's in the cards for Stuart.
I'm gonna claim a fear. I gotta start spending this fear and just coming after you.
It's getting up there, huh? That was a bad move.
What happens is this is our first proper glimpse of the slasher. Mm-hmm. The coat rack, the long brown trench coat, the potted plant is the chest. It is a sort of homunculus creature of all of the house's objects. Shrub bush from outside wraps around Stuart's neck, head down into the garbage disposal in the sink. Splatter of blood upwards. Splatter of blood upwards. We get a scream and then silence, and it is your turn.
I'm gonna fight.
Okay.
I'm going to play a 9 in the kitchen. I'm going to respond to that. I'm gonna run from the living room to the kitchen, having seen what just happened to Stuart, who I dislike, but he was a nice kid. His sparkly pumpkin bobblehead hat still kind of swinging around in response to the gruesome massacre, and I see a wooden axe just kind of laying conveniently against a wall on my way, and I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna try and swing and hit at this unknown creature that just killed my strange little coffee friend.
And now I'm gonna do the strategy that I tried to do earlier and succeed it, and I'm gonna make it tie. So you lose a resilience to succeed.
Okay.
I think that's what I wanted to do earlier, and if I had known the scene types, it would have been much more effective.
Yep.
Because I think like I uh as you run in, as you see Todd or as you see Stuart, you run in like you see Stuart's body, you run in, and you are greeted by what are you I think like here's what you're seeing. You're seeing uh we don't see the opera mask yet because I want there to be a second head in case it gets smashed. But staring at you is the frowning, drooping, rotting head of the jack-o'-lantern that you threw away on top of a trench coat with like all of this other ephemera having taken a form.
Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice a resilience to make this a hit. I think that very very nearly the creature kind of like gets away, and I think the axe on my first swing kind of whizzes past the creature, hits the floorboard and cracks. The head cracks off the handle. So I have a moment where I'm like, that was such a convenient, perfect weapon, but apparently it's a piece of shit. Now what am I gonna do? But Barbara, in a fit of rage, grabs the sharp head and kind of weasels it out of the floorboard and just hurls the sharp, disembodied head of the axe towards the jack-o'-lantern, and it makes a big, kind of homage to the gross slasher head exploding, but instead it is pumpkin guts, akin to
great.
the scene in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, starring Lachlan Watson, where I, at 16 years old, had to be in like negative 2-degree weather in Vancouver, Canada, and smash a bunch of pumpkins and get covered in pumpkin guts in real life. For my job, I had to do this. They rigged up a potato cannon of glycerin, pumpkin pie puree, and pumpkin guts, and they shot it full force at my head.
That's
to the point
great.
that I couldn't hear for about 24 hours out of my left ear.
Holy
and as an
crap.
apology, the special effects team, someone baked me a pumpkin pie and brought it to me the next morning, and I really had to resist the urge to throw it in their face because I couldn't stand the smell of pumpkin at the time.
I couldn't imagine
because it was just shot up my nose.
I can't imagine that is. I can't imagine that being.
Yeah. So the actors in our movie are just selfishly, I'm gonna put them through this. And
I appreciate this.
Some special effects guy's gonna rig up a shitty little potato cannon of pumpkin guts and glycerin and shoot it at their head.
Best way to,
And it's awesome and it's worth it.
It is awesome and it is worth it. Is the thing.
And I can hear fine now. Thank you.
All right.
And that means your
my
fear
goes
gets
down
lowered by 1 because
Ruin goes up by 1.
Ruin goes up by 1 and your fear goes down.
I am now realizing a gameplay thing that I'm now realizing is that I only have 2 cards left.
Yep.
And what's great is
Same.
that when we get 0 cards, that is when we pick here's what happens when we get to 0 cards. Basically, you're burning the candle at both ends and acting with desperation.
Cool.
Every time you set a scene from that moment forward, your stat drops by 1. You lose a resilience, I lose a fear.
Ooh.
You then pick one of these cards at random and say, "This is the card I'm flipping." Ooh. I have no. So it is
really exciting.
The cards
actually.
in our hand are all the like active planning and prep that we've done, and when we crash that point, which happens way sooner than I thought it would.
Yep.
You just start flipping cards and going like, something's happening.
Which is kind of what I wanted to do earlier. Is like let fate decide, see what happens.
Excited.
Hell yeah. It is my turn. It is.
Is my turn?
Yes.
My turn, and I'm going to hit back.
Yes, because I did the wood axe in the kitchen.
I'm going to hit back.
Wow.
And I'm going to hit back with my less of the 2 good cards.
Thank you.
And I'm going to. This is a. This is a great. We're still in the kitchen. The fight is still happening in the kitchen. This is Razor Blade Apple. I think this is just a big swing of like there is a bag of partially rotted apples hanging from one of the sleeves of the trench coat and swinging like a mace and just like crashing it down, and there are apples exploding in the bag, and it is just bashing, like bashing.
That's disgusting. A lot of rotting fruit in this one.
It's a real visceral experience.
I am going to do a little tempting fate, and I'm just going to flip over the card.
All right.
Oh,
The
and
king.
that is a king.
Who's the king? Face cards.
King means the slasher wins the test.
But also a special thing occurs.
Resolve the fallout of the test, then immediately perform a corresponding face card scene.
Okay, great.
Oh, no. The mayor
The mayor
of Appletown.
The king learns the slasher's escape/intent.
The mayor of Appletown. The king learns the slasher's intent.
Great. So this is the mayor, like, on the set of the big Halloween like in the park, big Halloween concert is happening. Somebody pulls aside the mayor to be like, sir, we have a problem, and like hands them like a coroner's report, which is when we see like the photo is when we see the full grisly head
Aftermath.
removed of the shotgun blast. Is looking at it, is like, and then that's the house, sir.
It's the house.
All right, well, tear the fucker down.
On Halloween? No! Whoa.
So your resilience is gonna drop by 1.
God, I'm getting really low.
And I've got 1 card left.
Are we ruining?
We are ruining. We're up to 9 ruin.
Ruin. Alrighty. Oh, this is so exciting. The mayor knows.
The mayor knows.
My cards are really bad.
I'm actually so glad I have the fear left that I have, because I'm realizing I'm gonna be out of it almost immediately and just burning through left, right, and center.
Okay, I'm gonna fight again.
Okay.
I think this is my shot. I'm going to play the 7 garden spade. I'm gonna remember that in my worry this morning, I just put the garden spade covered in gross pumpkin from this morning in my back pocket, but I'm a closeted lesbian, so I have 3,000 pockets, and so I just simply forgot that one of them is big enough to house a garden spade. It's just been chilling in there, and I'm gonna recall that, and I'm gonna grab it, and I'm gonna just do my best to absolutely jam it into wherever I can find an open space on this horrible creature in the kitchen, in this tense fight that we're having.
I'm going to draw the top card here.
I
got the 10 of power. Okay, yeah.
I lose.
Lights turn out. Lights shut out. It is the peak, Jason, Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Lights shut out. They shut back on. Like, you go for the spade, you go for the stab, and you fall forward because the lights come back on, and there is just nothing
there
here.
All right.
Okay. And I think I'm going to... What's the play here? I'm going to keep hitting. And I think it is a... Actually, this was my last card. I think getting my fear up is going to be the right... No, you're low enough on fear, on resilience. I'm gonna throw the ace here. The discarded mask, and like we see another body with another set of house objects coming around the corner with the burned shotgun. Axe is fully taped to it. We've gotten to the fireworks factory.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in frame, coming behind you. What are you doing?
So this is which scene?
This is a fight scene.
This is a fight.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's the ace.
It is the ace. It always wins unless a face card is flipped.
I think that I might have, because I'm running low, I'm going to wing it. I'm going to flip. Oh! And it's a jack.
And the jack.
It's a jack.
That's the players whose turn it is hits. So that hits your resilience. Yeah, that's you, right?
Yeah, that's me.
All right.
Wait, no, that was you.
You're right.
You
You're
played
right.
the ace.
Okay, you're right.
Shit.
Yeah, okay. Drop to 3.
No.
You're at 3. You are at 3 resilience.
No.
And
that's really bad.
And
fuck, I was so excited. I got it.
we see the mayor walking. We see the
mayor.
The mayor is walking, and like as it's walking, like we're just seeing, the Halloween celebration is just like in full swing, and like it is, cacophonous. A cinematic thing, a sound design thing that I just learned last night from a movie that I've been obsessed with for months is the 2022 silent comedy Hundreds of Beavers. I saw it in theaters in December. It was one of the highlights.
I've heard some wonderful things.
They do a thing because they want it to sound like a silent comedy where they mix it badly. And at several points they like recorded sound effects into a tape deck and then played it and cranked the volume on the tape deck so it intentionally peaks the audio.
Oh, good.
And we are fully doing that with like the booming of the bass and everything. It is like it is an assault on the senses. Is this Halloween party?
It's a bad time
to reflect the idea that like this is a blast of excess as it is absorbing everything around it.
It's a black hole.
It is a black hole.
Wow.
And that's gonna up our ruin by 1, and it is your turn.
All right,
I'm out of cards.
I have no choice but to play my ghost story. I think I'm going to play that in the bedroom. And I believe I'm gonna hide.
Okay.
I'm gonna hide. I'm going to hightail it to the bedroom, and I'm gonna kind of curl up, maybe under the bed, even.
Okay.
In the way that like you hear about. It's like a classic story that it's a last resort. Just running, trying to get any opportunity, and then hiding, and everything's quiet, and it's a juxtaposition of the boisterous Halloween celebration. It's complete silence in the house, and they're just all we hear is Barbara breathing, just hoping that the house doesn't know. It's a long shot because this is a 3.
Well, I mean, I don't have any cards left, so I've got to draw the top card, and I believe that also, if I'm reading this correctly, I believe that also reduces my fear by 1.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Or is it just on my turn? Let me see. I think I'm going to go with it. I think that is we're going with it.
Take
and
this.
What?
Yes.
It was the 2.
It's a 2, ladies and gentlemen.
It was the
and
2.
Others.
I can't believe it was the 1 card. It was wow. Okay.
It
great.
Worked.
You have successfully hidden.
That is lucky as
hell. That
hell.
is such luck.
I successfully hid on a hit. I gain 1 resilience.
Okay.
So I am up on 4 now. We are very nearly neck and neck.
We are very nearly
neck
and
neck. Neither of us have any cards left.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to burn a fear. I think I just got to start hitting. I think if we're neck and neck, I just got to start hitting.
Very possibly.
And I'm just going to flip this guy.
The queen.
What happens on
the queen is Tai.
That's Tai.
Tiberius, our sweet Tyler.
Oh my god! I think, okay. So that means that whatever you do here, you win regardless.
Oh, is that true?
The queen always
survives.
Wow. Okay, I guess flip a card.
Coming up, Barbara.
But now I'm not even sure.
Because the card I've just flipped is a jack.
Here's what we're gonna do then. This is a moment where the game has pushed us into a weird place.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna set these cards aside.
We're gonna do
it again. And then we're gonna play out both of these scenes immediately.
Okay.
That's the ace.
That is the ace.
All right.
Which is the wandering child.
The wandering child. And you're gonna flip a card again.
And it is a 10. The mayor.
The mayor.
The mayor.
Okay.
This is actually incredibly uncanny. Can I point out that the wandering child is right next to the queen?
All
which is
of
my
this
character,
is fascinating.
and
This
the
is
Jack, which is the town, it literally is next to the mayor. So
This
we
is
have,
an
we have
incredible
pulled
card draw.
the child, and the mayor.
Incredible card draw.
Actually,
all
incredibly
around.
scary. Yeah, really weird.
Weird little hand of cards that we have drawn.
This means I
This means you lose resilience,
Fuck. Okay.
and each of our Jack and King escalate. Or Jack and Queen escalate.
Yeah.
Do you want to play out the scene of
Well, I think since you pulled the queen, you should play that out in the town.
I love this sincerely.
This is absurd. This is
great.
really freaky.
This is freaky. This is freaky. And I think like here's where the game is really here's where the house's game is really going to escalate, because the first queen scene is the queen is on their way towards the house. I think Tai gets home. I think Tai walks into Barbara's house and sees a note on paper that did not come from the house, that did not come from Barbara's house, that says like, stopped by to help clean up the old house up the lane. Have candy for you, meet me outside.
Have candy for you.
And like we see Tai like kind of honestly like having a pretty like compared to the sort of like dejected bullied kid we saw earlier, having a pretty normal night.
Pretty chill time of it.
Is now like happily walking towards the house. Talk to me about what happens when the town begins to hear rumors of violence and trauma enacted by the slasher.
I think perhaps there certainly was a witness. I think maybe the utilities man was not alone. I think there were probably some guys in the truck.
Yeah.
That kind of saw this happen and immediately hightailed it back away, and maybe just went to the bar to drown it out, just assuming it was some like Halloween prank. But I think they're right in the middle of it. They're in the middle of the town, and there's some whisperings happening after the very dramatic mayor moment. And I think the two utilities guys are catching wind of this, and they kind of turn around and they go like, wait, hold on, you're not talking about that house, are you? Because I'm sure we saw some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And then very, very, very quickly people start catching on that perhaps the two drunk utility guys maybe didn't see something so crazy after all.
That feels good.
So we see the townspeople in this bar get a kind of steely look on their face and might be plotting something.
I love that. I really like that. I really like that a lot. Which means it is your turn. We are at Ruin 12. If Ruin goes up 1, then we reach a standstill, and things wrap up. What are you doing?
I'm actually going to keep hiding.
Okay.
Because I want to prolong this a little bit. And my other two scenes both have ruin regardless of hit or miss. So so I'm going to flip over a card in the attic.
Okay.
I've avoided the. Well, no, I got found. You won.
Yeah.
So I got found in the bedroom.
Yeah, found in the bedroom.
Turn, booked it to the attic.
Yep,
and I've now found kind of a corner. So I'm backed into the corner of the house. The house is backed into a corner by the town.
Yep.
And I'm gonna flip over a card and keep
Okay.
going.
Flip our card. That's the 4. How does this keep happening?
That is a 3.
This is incredible.
So we are officially neck and neck. I've gained 1 resilience, and we are 4 and 4.
And I think that especially with the card with the card prompt beat cop, I think like what it is like people have pulled up outside. Like there's now a crowd outside.
And under that was nosy neighbor as well.
Like people
so
are now like there's
people...
a crowd outside, and like the house maybe I think I gotta end this.
Yeah.
I think this is the moment to end this. And I think I'm gonna end it not on hitting you, but on claiming someone. I think is the play. And we're gonna flip the foyer. And that is the 6. And I think this is a thing that I think is really great. A thing I actually love, a thing that like actually like stresses me out in horror stories is not the threat of like the protagonist getting hurt, but being in that position of it's that feeling of like knowing someone else is going to get hurt is the thing that like actually gets under my skin so bad in horror things.
Yeah.
When it's the I cannot stop the person from doing the thing. It's the first of many horribly bleak moments in the movie adaptation of Stephen King's The Mist. It's when the other people like when the lady leaves the place and you're like it's the don't go in that door of like, but it's when the characters themselves are also like, you're going to die if you do the thing, and just being like, well, fuck, oh, it's over, oh god damn it.
Yeah.
And so like that is, I think, what position Barbara is in. As I flip this card, I lower my resilience to 3, and I say like someone is trying to like slam their way into the front door, and like you can see it from the attic.
Is it Tai Tai?
I don't think it's Tai Tai. I think like maybe you see Tai Tai approaching as like this beat cop is like trying to force his way in, and like, oh, Chekhov's gunning it. That gargoyle is like, you see a hand start to push that gargoyle a little bit further and a little bit further as like and it's like, oh, well, the house is just shaking. This is just the house shaking.
Right. Clearly.
But you, having been in here and fought this thing, see the hand that is pushing it. What are you doing in that moment?
That is a king.
That is a king. That goes to the slasher.
That goes to you.
That goes to the slasher. That ups our ruin to 13.
The mayor is here.
The mayor and the construction
Appletown.
crew and the authorities come in just in time for that thing to like smash the head of this beat cop. The authorities run in, all of the lights shut out, and like there's the moment of like, as it falls, falling from a thing next to you. Remember how I said earlier I didn't want to use the comedy mask until it felt right? The comedy mask the thing you see is like, it falls off a shelf, and the comedy mask, big smile, is just looking at you as the death happens, and as people run inside, and you're kind of confronted by it almost sends this implicit signal of like, I might not actually need you.
Right. Yeah.
You might be okay. I've found a way to survive this.
Kind of accepted its fate in
Yeah.
a way.
That's
it?
If somebody's gonna, there's like, and so now we take turns and kind of like, what do we want to wrap up of this? What are the closing beats before we kind of cross paths again?
Well, I think Barbara has to find Tai Tai.
Yeah.
I think Barbara. I imagine that there's like a balcony kind of overlooking the foyer, and Barbara kind of rushes out to that, looks out, witnesses this tragedy, this cop getting squished, and sees it, kind of reveals Tai Tai standing behind. And so it's realizing that, this person that I tried so hard to protect, like, they saw this anyway, and you see the horror on Tiberius's face, and Barbara realizes with almost a sense of relief that, they fought so hard trying to find Tai Tai, and Tai Tai's okay.
Yeah.
But, they saw this. They got affected.
The trauma came in an entirely different direction.
In a different direction that I couldn't control. And so it's almost a sense of relief of going, this happened, they're here, and it's okay, and we're going to move on. And I think Barbara moves forward with a more trust in Tai Tai for having come.
I like that.
And followed through and been okay. And
I think that, like, we get the, there is the people run in, the door closes. There is like, we see, the slasher figure almost now fully wearing the comedy mask. Like, there is like a moment, I think, that like emerges onto the balcony, like with like a bundle in its hands, and like this balcony is like just far enough off the corner, and like it unfurls a rope ladder and just kind of looks at Barbara, and then just like, and like has the big smiling grin, and there's this like really horrible, like good horror movie moment of like, I'm gonna go back inside and kill a bunch more people. Wow. You can go.
You can go.
My job is done here. And like, but there's this clear moment of like, what is inside this house. You know what this house is capable of. But and like, it's the other really great horror beat of like, you as the protagonist are not inherently special.
Right.
Like, this horror was going to happen to somebody and you were the present one. But now you're in the position to know it and understand it for the next time that you fight.
And it works for the slasher because it's the idea of perpetuating your reputation as, don't go near this house, leave it alone. I have lived to tell the story to the next person and become the old crotchety person on the corner saying, don't go near the rickety house on Green Street in Appletown.
I love it. I think that's our closing beat.
I think so.
Damn, this rip.
This is rad as hell.
This was rad as hell.
This is super, super cool. As soon as I started understanding, like, I would have chosen my cards in the beginning very, very differently.
Yeah, now that's one of the things is like I see a lot of the day segment really like stands out to me a lot differently in terms of like how you're building cards and handing cards and like drawing cards and like I see how that plays in and also just the thrill of when you get to know cards in your hand and you're like, I guess I got to try and wrap this up, but also start to take the like recover actions to be like, I just need to hold on a little bit longer.
Yeah, 100%. And but the funny moments of me going, well, I've shot myself in the foot by only leaving myself this 3 and then still somehow winning when you pull a 2 is
incredible.
Is a pretty great feeling.
What was your favorite moment from play?
I think the idea of like remembering that other people can come in to the story and having Stuart show up in the kitchen and be satisfying. Like, oh, right. Not only did you remember that the name I created was Stuart, but now all of a sudden, like, Stuart is a real part of this story and is getting killed. I was like, oh, right. This is a fully fleshed out thing.
That was great.
And the idea of actually being it, because in the beginning, when you're doing the setup, I was so sure that I would still have that bag of candy card in my hands and be able to like over the garden wall, like candy trail it in some way. But then I never ended up having that card in my hands again. But it's like, I had these ideas at the beginning of like, oh, well, and then I could do this and I could do this. But the garden spade, having that in my back pocket was the only time
really hit
that I was able to go like, yes, exactly what I wanted is now going to happen, where I pull the garden spade out of my pocket and I try and hit you with it. And that's such a satisfying moment.
For me, it was really that freaky hand draw. Like
that was freaky.
Especially because like we had laid so many threads. We had put so many tracks in place that to reach a crossroads where they all culminated in all a truly freaky way of like the town is coming in and Tai is coming in and we're neck and neck fighting and then like seeing the resources dwindle as we're flipping cards, like the actual like end of that confrontation and then getting to such an interesting, compelling place of like the horror will live on until you choose to confront it again.
Yeah.
Really satisfying end to the experience.
The idea that like this will probably go on, you know, every time, like the Dark Souls narrative of like, do you choose to relight the fire and continue the cycle again? Like, do you see everyone, does the mayor show up and the utility people show up and they see all of this carnage and they go, okay, maybe we won't tear this house down.
Yeah.
And then in 1988, this happens again.
Yep.
Like it begs such an interesting question of like, yeah, maybe this is how the stories get started, and this house just happens to stay there.
It's really great. This was wonderful. Thank you so much for sitting down and playing this with me. I'm so happy.
Yeah, incredibly rad.
Real quick before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
You can find me on Instagram at LachRWatson. That's the only one. I've tried making a Twitter like 3 times and it never works.
You know what? It's for the best.
Truly never will.
Yeah, no, it's for the best.
Nope. Gonna leave everything else in the dust. May even not be on Instagram one of these days. But you can find me on most airplanes. As I said prior, you can have me sit with you if you get motion sick. You can watch me sing a little song to you on the airplanes. You can watch The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix if you're craving more creepy, spooky house-based, tree-based horror. I turn into a tree in one episode. That's pretty fun. You can watch that on Netflix at any time of the year, and you can try and track me down in New York. That would be fun too. We can play out this game in real life.
Love it.
Try and kill each other, and it'd be a great time for everyone involved.
Well, you made it out of Philadelphia alive. That's a win.
Thank goodness. I really said that only one of us would, but here we are.
You know,
the house stands and Barbara lives.
The fight lives. The fight will live on for another day.
It will.
This was a joy. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. This was a blast. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that you can wrap up with the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
Take it, future me. Thanks past me, and thanks again to Lachlan for coming on the show, and also thank you for actually driving down to Philly in a literal snowstorm. Legitimately incredible experience from beginning to end. Great conversation, great game, just this is what the show is all about. Be sure to check out Y2K. You can catch it on HBO Max, you can catch it wherever you rent your movies, or you can catch it on your airline of choice. And be sure to pick up your own copy of 1978, The Night They Came Home at worldchampgameco.itch.io, or check the show notes for more information. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, I have one thing I want you to do. I've been asking this question a lot on social, and I would love for you to answer this question for me in the form of an Apple review. Who is one out-of-this-world dream guest you would like for me to reach out to in 2026 about being on the show? Shamelessly, if you go to Apple and leave me a review that says, hey, I think you should try to reach out to X for the show, I'll reach out. And honestly, if I have an Apple review to point to and I can say, look, our listeners really want to hear you on the show, that might make it easier. Plus, as showrunner, it gives me an easy thing to point to when reaching out to guests and saying, hey, look, there's momentum behind the show, the audience is here, they're excited, and who doesn't like to get a gold star at the end of the day? So there you have it. That's my one call to action request for you this week. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Megaran, featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, press coverage, or as a guest inquiry yourself, you can email us at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And, unless I'm mistaken, I believe that's all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.